We are here on the Gud Tymez Show with an artist named Latif, an amazing artist, worked with many talented people in the world.
Welcome to the show.
What's good, John?
Now, do you like to go by Corey, Latif, or just Latif?
I mean, whatever's clever. Like, some people, of course, my friends, cats have known me for a long time. I didn't start using Latif, my middle name, until maybe 2001.
Okay.
I mean, it was cause I was signed to Motown at the time, and they had another artist by the name of Corey on the label, so I just used that moniker. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. Whatever you prefer.
Okay. So, when did you first know that singing and songwriting was what you wanted to do from the bottom of your heart?
Well, singing came first, you know what I mean, in church and all of that. But songwriting came when I was in high school, and I was managed by Teddy Pendergrass at the time, and he was from the old school, great inspiration to me. But majority of the artists back in the day didn't really write their own records, so I realized that I had a passion for it when the material that other writers were giving me weren't really fitting what I was going through at that time. So I had to express my own, my own, self or whatever, and what I was going through as a teenager and all of that. So that's when I really got into it.
Now, being managed by the great Teddy Pendergrass, do you think that played a major role in your career?
Absolutely. I mean, it unlocked to me my purpose, you know what I mean, and my path in life. Some people, they spend majority of life trying to figure out what they're good at, you know what I mean, or what they love. It was actually just, handed to me, look, this is what it is. I guess they saw it in me. He saw it in me first, because of course, I probably would have maybe just stopped at the church, but he was like, okay, cool, and expressed interest in managing me as a recording artist, so that just sparked that whole part of my life.
Now, you were signed to Sony 550. That was your first deal?
Right, yep.
How did that come about?
A great lady by the name of Vivian Scott Chu. Her daughter had saw me on TV. I was on BET. It was a long time ago. I was a baby. It was a show, and I sang, and she saw me. She's like, Mom, you gotta check him out. This is the same lady who signed Genuine when he was signed with Sony, and back then it was a whole bunch of people, I think Shop or Ranks or something like that, and it was really dope,
Okay.
She's great.
So I mean, how did that venture work out? How did that venture work out? Did you like it?
Nah, I wasn't writing or anything. It was a great experience. I learned a lot about the business. I took a lot of great meetings with the likes of Andre Arell and a lot of great heads and legends and the executives in the music industry. Donnie Iron, who's no longer. These cats giants. They signed Maxwell and Mariah Carey and all these different people. Ty Mottola. So
you was over there when Ryan Grant was over there, then, right?
Say this again.
Well, you was over there when Ryan Grant was over there.
Ryan Grant, I knew Ryan Grant, but no, I guess he was there, but I had never met him. I didn't meet Mr. Ryan until later, and he was vocal producing an artist. I was working with Cassie, and he's a legend. He could sing his behind off himself.
Absolutely. People don't know that about Ryan.
Nah, if they go to his showcases and stuff, he shows up. Even the singers that's on stage, so.
Absolutely.
I know what it is. But see, that's what I loved about the game. It was he was an artist. He knew and understood music, so you could trust that if you went over there, you would be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope. It was a great experience. But again, I wasn't writing my material, so everything that I was saying really wasn't relatable to me. So how can you expect that? You know what I mean? I wasn't really. I couldn't see myself going, and even though God made that situation fall through, it was I couldn't see myself being somebody that I'm not and doing music that wasn't what I was going through. You feel me?
Yeah, I got you.
Now, are you signed to any labels or any negotiations with any as of right now?
What I do is, of course, you hear people say the industry is changing, drastically. Labels are no longer a necessary, evil. I would say you don't have to really rock with them like that, but I do partnerships and one-offs with different countries and stuff. I have my own company, Hurl, which is stands for Heroes understand real lyrics. And excuse me, I'm outside right now. But it was and I take my I put out 2 projects in Japan. I work extensively in Japan, in Germany, and throughout Europe and stuff like that. And so you don't really need it. I mean, with all the platforms here, I mean, you just gotta get a buzz and put out a lot of media and stuff like that. But I like to take my time with it and let it grow organically. So.
Now, for people that don't know, like, because you're very humble, right. and I'm sensing this on the line with you right now. You're a very humble guy, because most interviews and people we talk to, they quick to name drop and do a lot of things, and you're very humble. And I mean, you work with not just Sony, you caught the eye of Kadar, which is a big name in the entertainment business, and he just started a wine company. Hats off to him.
Right. A legend.
Yeah, you also do a lot of writing, though.
To me, what did you say?
I said, but you also do a lot of writing.
Oh, absolutely. That's really my day job. I look at it that way.
So you wrote for a lot of big names, Casey and JoJo.
Trey Songz, Chris Brown, Music Soul Child. Like, do you enjoy writing or making your own music more?
It sparks for me. Like it sparks. Like I always wanted to be a writer. You know what I mean? Like when I was told like no, just go in the booth, it made me want to be a writer. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I wanted to prove that part of myself. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And you're not a writer until you actually write for other artists. A lot of people, they say that they do a lot of different things, but once you're acknowledged that way, and you can write a record and a couple records for different genres and stuff like that, then you can call yourself a writer. I like both of them equally, but I do love to perform. So of course, like me writing for myself, it affords me the opportunity to get out here and touch these stages and the people and stuff like that.
Okay. Now I heard that when you were in college, you left Berklee College of music to work on your own music. Now, was that hard making that choice and having to tell your parents, I don't want to go to school, I want to do this? And did they look at you like, no, that's not the best choice? Or how'd that go?
It wasn't. It was just instinct. You know what I mean? It was like I just knew. God was just directing. Me in the direction, and I was just like, one thing led to another, and thank God it worked out. But I went to school for music. Berklee is a jazz school, primarily. But like, I going into it, you go into it so you can have a career in music, and it just so happened I got pulled out. Before. My attention rather was shifted towards starting to work early. You had a lot of teachers and stuff at school that was like passing you demo tapes and stuff, so you knew what it was. So if you had an opportunity to start rocking, you started rocking. I met Ryan Leslie, and we started writing, producing together and stuff like that, and the rest was history. We started taking meetings and stepped out on faith, and thank God, everything worked out.
Dig that. Now, see that's when you're meant. That's when it was a calling. That's when you was meant to do what you do. Because a lot of people.
And that's something I wanted. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's something I want to really, put out there. Like, you don't have to put yourself. You want your career. It's a marathon. You know what I mean? It's a long race. It's not a sprint. You know what I'm saying? And you want to have a career. Some people don't, I guess. You know what I mean? So it reflects in their music and how they carry themselves. But by chance I met Ryan. By chance I met, Teddy Pendergrass. By chance I was on a TV show, and by the grace of God, I was on a TV show, and Vivian Scott and daughter saw me on BT. Then I just had a chance meeting with Kedar, and the next day, it was just like, come on, these are things like I used to just pray. Everything I pray for, God to give it to you. You got to be patient, and that's something that you need. You see these American Idol shows and all that. That's not really realistic. You know what I'm saying? It's really not.
Right.
Even if they do just pop off, but I assure you that it's been years in the making. You know what I mean? Like Ruben Studdard or Jennifer Hudson, they've been singing their whole lives. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But some people don't even hear that.
Unfortunately, TV has taken away the reality and the efforts and the longevity. Right. TV, unfortunately, now makes everybody think they could be a superstar overnight.
Right.
Now, for you who's been in the business for a while, what is the misconception? I always ask this question. This is like one of my favorite questions. I ask everybody that comes on this show. What is the misconception to a young person sitting at home right now listening to this interview? What is the misconception that he has, that he thinks when he gets signed to a big label or he gets to work with one of these big artists? What's the misconception out here?
The misconception is that that you've made it. You haven't made it. You know what I mean? Like, you really literally have to make it. Like, they sign you and it's basically they give you, it's a bank, you know?
Right.
And you got to put in that work. You got to make yourself profitable. They're signing new recruits every year. You know, tons of them, just tax write-offs here and there, and you know, and you're just one of them. Even if you get the little rollout and everything, they sign you. But you got to keep yourself valuable, and you got to make yourself unique, where you stand out on a label, on a roster like that. You know what I mean? You got to make yourself stand out. And I was blessed, man. I was blessed to be on a label with Erykah Badu, India, Reese, Stevie Wonder. You know, at the same time, everybody rocking. You know, so it's just you know, that's it. It's not easy. It's not easy, and you gotta have patience. You feel me? Like,
I hear it. Listen, it seems like you got so much passion built up in you.
It really does.
And look, I really respect how you're choosing your words correctly, because I can tell that you've been in this business for a while, because you're choosing the right words properly, where a young person who may be new in this industry, he might just let it all out, like, man, it's bull, it's not right, they don't treat you right.
I mean, it's like, okay, just to keep it very candid, okay? My first deal, okay, I was very young, it was a lot of pressure, okay? And then, you know, I said I wasn't going to do it again. So then, you know what I mean, I jumped in there, like me and Ryan, we had a talk, and I was like, look, what's the best way to get our music out there? I mean, because I was in full writer mode. When I went in to see the Kedar and all those meetings, I was going in as a writer. But in order to sell the records, I would get up and perform the record so they could see what their artists would look like singing the record. In the meantime, I got a label. I mean, I got offers every time. I was like, all right, cool. Let's be Pharrell and Chad. Let's go in here and let's do what we got to do. You know what I mean? And it was just like, you know, you back into it. You know, they sign you up, and then you're their property, man. It's like, and after that, after I left that situation, I spent all my money. I was broke, you know what I'm saying, and I just had to start over. It's like the music industry is a lot of that, a lot of starting over. A lot of people want to use different words. They might say reinvention, whatever. It's the same thing, man, and you got to be prepared to do it. You know what I mean? The game has changed. It's not the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same, man.
And it's funny you use those words, because you're on Beanie Siegel's project, and Beanie Siegel just said that. He just stated the fact that this business changes consistently, and it's like you constantly starting over. You know, and he didn't say it in those exact words, but he was just saying how, you know, 1 minute you could feel like you at, you know, you're going to your peak, and then the next minute it seemed like you starting all over again.
I mean, just look at it this way. I'm only going to speak about urban music, but it's a persona that all of the artists, you know what I mean, once they're successful, that they start to carry, and then you see them, they got 2-3 years tops, and then they rocked out. You know what I mean? They're not as hot anymore. But you don't see that in country music. You know what I mean? You don't see that in pop music too much. It's just like, it's a subject matter and stuff like that. It has to be broader if they wanted to survive, man. This industry is not going to be able to support anybody, or if they don't open it up and just like everything ain't about the same stuff. It's like the same plate that everybody's eating off of, the same sex and this type of lyric and this type of stuff. But you gotta look at longevity. The Isley Brothers, the Mazes and the Frankie Beverlys, all these people that's done it for years. R. Kelly's, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You can tell that they love it. And if you know, man, we would be on the phone forever. You know what I mean? We might have to do a 2-part to the interview. For real. So because I'm passionate about it, because when I see an artist and they get a little cocky and stuff, I mean the reality is Ja Rule, okay, not like Ja Rule's in jail right now. A couple years ago, they was the most talented record. You know what I mean? All the type of stuff. You know what I mean? 50 Cent, all these different people
Yeah.
It's just not. You know what I mean? But you don't see Taylor. You're not going to see Taylor Swift in jail. You're not going to see Keith Urban in jail. You're not going to see Leanne Rhymes in jail. You're not going to see Lady Antebellum in jail. They're you know what I mean? They making music. They got endorsements. All these different things where these urban artists they pigeonhole. They do it to themselves, man. It's crazy.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Listen, I agree with you 100%.
We've watched certain artists. We've watched certain artists go from bright to dark real fast.
Well, do you think?
Real fast.
Well, see, I always say that. This is my belief in it. And like you, and I love talking to guys like you because I could be on the phone all day with you. But my belief is that because a lot of us come up with nothing. A lot of us come from areas where we're not taught how to bank. We're not taught careers. We're not taught futuristic things. We're not taught investments. We're not taught integrity and poise. So when you give up a person that grew up with nothing, something, they don't know how to properly handle themselves. And we don't. And the entertainment industry does not have a school system that basically prepares them and teaches them. So when you get a young guy from urban America or from poverty and you give him $100,000, $50,000, or he's getting $10,000 a show, if he didn't have no one properly to teach him how to handle money, invest money, money does not make you, you make the money, carry yourself with integrity, then that's why we see what we see nowadays.
Hot flashes, they come and they go. They take their money and they run with it, not thinking about it.
I mean, it's just like this. Okay, most artists like myself, we come from a church, right, or whatever. You know what I mean? I urge if whatever that feeling that you came in when you create music, I'm gonna say keep God first and chill on the drugs. No drugs, and I mean, if you're a man, chill on the women. If you're a female, chill on the men. Like, just keep yourself and keep your art. You know what I mean? Your focus and your soul, and that's it. It's real cliche. People want to say it all the time, but it's real. Whitney Houston wasn't supposed to go out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody would have told me I thought she would have went out, I was like, yeah, all right. Michael Jackson, come on, man. Gerald Levert, like all these were drugs. You see the unsung, you see these stories, you watch them, you hear the voices change because of the years, and you see how the industry uses up people until they don't. I mean, look, and you know what? I can't. You've seen it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You wonder why. I mean, Amy Winehouse. Okay, like the labels don't like. You gotta keep yourself. You gotta keep yourself valuable. You gotta keep yourself straight. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, once you created the music, they own the masters anyways. So once you create the music, they don't need you anyway. So if you work more dead than alive, then that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like Whitney Houston, like they gonna sell her music forever. You know what I mean? She's selling a movie theater tickets right now, and she's not even here no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just like. But that's what the game is. That'll happen to the best of them if you don't keep yourself. You know what I mean?
Hey man, I see. Listen, I see you writing a book in the next 2-3 years.
I was just gonna say it is so good to have somebody back in the music industry that has their head on straight, that's making positive music, because nowadays there's no positive music whatsoever, and the music does not even make sense.
I mean, 56. They said 56 kids, 56 people got killed in Chicago. Last week or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they they got music that's coming out here nowadays. Not to put nobody on blast, but you know what I mean. Like this is what the labels are signing and stuff. Like, come on, like kids are dying. This is the soundtrack that we had Jill Scott and all of them and Boys and Men, and these kids got like music that sound like funeral tunes. You wouldn't even play it at a funeral, like
not at all.
You know what I'm saying? What do you think that's gonna like make people want to do? It's gonna make people want to like do some craziness, mess with their families. You know what I mean? Spend some money that they don't have. You know what I'm saying? But and that's the whole vibe. And why the cats that the powers that be watching and see us just kill ourselves, man? It's crazy.
Well, let's.
Crazy, man.
Well, we got some good music that we're about to give them. Let the listeners right now know the new project. When is it coming? Where will they be able to get it? How can they stay in touch with you? How can they, stay linked with your good soulful music?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. Corey Latif Williams on both. Corey Latif @Corey Latif on Twitter. You can get the Philadelphia Healing Project right now at hurltheworld.com. That's correct spellings. HURLTHEWORLD.com. Enjoy it, you know what I mean, pass it on, spread the word, you know what I mean, and just, keep God first, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm real, you know what I'm saying? I work with the best of them, you know what I mean? I love God, I deal with life, I've been through a lot, and that's it, man. That's it. And go get that Beanie Siegel album, you know what I mean? It's called, the record that I did with him is Expensive Taste, I believe it's track number 4 or something like that, but that's another, cat that we need to learn from too,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, he got to turn himself in. You know what I mean? But trials and tribulations and hard lessons that you learn if you don't take precaution and deal with life. You know what I mean? I salute him for being an example and being honest with this project and letting people know if cats listen to it. The things that can go wrong. You know what I mean?
So now we got 3 singles.
3 singles.
We're gonna bang out Days of Our Lives
and Searching,
right. And then we're gonna play Completely. Now everyone,
I love all of them.
Everyone can go to this website that you just gave and get the singles. Now, do you have it on iTunes or Amazon or anything like that?
No, I just released it. It was free. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't. These are projects Completely is from my Breath of Fresh Air. That was I wrote it and I worked with the great producers from Philly, Carvin and Ivan, and then Philadelphia Healing Part 1 I did with some new producers from Philly called Caviar, with Sean and Daniel Pope, incredible, recent college graduates. I mean, just incredible dudes. You'll definitely be hearing more from them, in the years to come and the months to come and all of that. So. It's free music. I mean, that's the whole thing. Just giving people stuff, food for their soul. So I'm not trying to make it overbearing or nothing like that. It's just what it is. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it, man. I love your humbleness, man. I love your style. You have a unique swag about you, and you let your music,
can hear it in your tone.
You let your music and your track record speak for itself, which is a very hell of a track record, man. So I think that the fans, and your listeners deserve great music that you've been giving them. We're going to bang out the single. Now we're going to hit them with Searching. So we're going to let you introduce your single, Searching. So it's the airwaves is all on you, brother.
All right. Right now, y'all about to listen to Searching by me, Corey Latif. Hope you enjoy it. All the Philadelphia Healing, go grab that. And like I said, Beanie Siegel drops today. Expensive Taste off the This Time album. All right, salute.